I'm normally a very reactive music maker. What I mean is I tend to start with something, some bit of randomness, a beat or a keyboard sound, and then I see where that leads me, and it becomes like a conversation, like the thing starts and then I add to it, and then I hear what that sounds like in context, and then that leads me to add a new thing, and then I experiment with adding some effects on it and see what they do to it, and there's a lot of back and forth for me. I'm not a trained musician, so I don't approach songwriting from a place of understanding music theory very well, or from a place of sitting down at a piano and picking a key and then making chord changes that make sense. Most of the things that I do musically are by ear, by instinct a little bit, by gut, like what I feel like sounds cool. Because of that, I end up with some really weird stuff. And some of it works, and some of it doesn't. Some of it's worth exploring. And that's where a lot of this album comes from, is this sense of exploring sound, exploring atmosphere, texture, space.
I'm just a whisper, and I feel I'm spread too thin.
I was less interested in creating a rock album. You know, I wasn't trying to make a rock album where there's guitars and a distinct bass guitar sound and keyboards and a drum sound that sounds like it's from a drum kit. Like most of the drum sounds on this album are interesting bits of percussion, or me hitting the side of my guitar and then adding a lot of delay and reverb on that. And I wanted to make sure that each song had its own character and its own kind of personality, different from the other songs. And so a lot of that was sound design. A lot of that was sculpting interesting sounds from starting points and then just adding to it and building it up in layers. So for an album like this, because it really does feel like an art piece to me, like an art show even, there's very little separation between the songs and the imagery and the artwork and the video. So all of these things kind of happen around the same time.